But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not mad if Canada wins. Canada winning a Olympic basketball tournament is like equivalent to like when Obama became president. Like, you know what I mean? That's
No, it's like cool runnings.
It's something.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Point Forward. I'm Andre Iguodala, joined by my guy, Evan Turner. Point Forward is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about what DraftKings has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Point Forward.
ET, we right around the corner. Got some Olympic news. Men's first basketball game does take place on July 27th, but they are going on a small friendly tour. Starts in Vegas July 10th. Then they're in Abu Dhabi. They might be in. They might play against Great Britain in London at some point as well. So basketball, summer fever is still here, summer league, but the Olympics are going to be really exciting. We've had some conversation around roster spots, guys jumping in, guys who may be out. But it's going to be super interesting. We've seen a lot of coverage with NBA players starting practice with their teams in their countries. Saw Luka earlier this week with the Serbian team. Also, we saw Clay working out with the Bahamas team, but he didn't get cleared, which is super interesting to me. But as we jump into our DraftKings future odds for the 2024 Olympics, the U.S. is favored at a minus 400, followed by Canada, which I was actually surprised at.
Yeah.
They're at a plus 900, followed by Serbia, which is close third, France, Germany, Australia, followed by South Sudan. South Sudan has a plus 30,000 chance to win the gold, and then Japan has the same amount of odds. So super interesting as I was looking through the rosters. Shout out to my man, Lester Quinones. I was wondering if he was on our roster or not. I texted him, he didn't text me back, but I was for sure he's going to be on an Olympic team. But if you look at these rosters, I think the odds are pretty close with the Canadian team being second as the best odds to win the gold medal. But other than that, what have you seen?
Obviously, I'm going for Team USA. Clearly, every summer they always start the conversation between, USA basketball and Euro basketball. But I wouldn't be mad if Canada won. Considering how much we always have so much success here in America, it's like when they can get there, you root for them in that sense.
Has Canada had those Olympic moments where it's like, this is a huge deal? Or is it just, the Olympics are pretty cool? Like, do they treat it similar to other countries? I'm only asking because I don't know.
I think in hockey they do.
Yes, 100%. There we go.
I mean, even in
the winter
America,
sports.
Yeah, imagine in America we talk about nothing we're bad at. We don't even talk about the truth. Like, you know what I mean? We just make it up. So we've gone so far to even call ourselves world champions. You know what I mean? And it's like a inter-country thing. So I feel like Canada definitely has had a lot of success. It's just coming down. I think even in soccer they had a decent amount of success. But when we're talking in our sense in regards to basketball and like the far-fetched stuff, this is I feel like they're coming up on their moments. Moving forward, last year was when they beat Team USA. And then moving forward, I feel like this is just the beginning for them. Obviously, they have a top 5 player in the world. They have one of the top defenders in the world. They have a couple world champions. They have a few pieces like Kelly Olynyk, that's a stretch big man that can shoot. The White Powell that's got a championship experience. And, you got Nikhil Alexander Walker. They have some really good pieces that it's not like it was like, okay, you have 2 pros for every 12 players. Now it's like, shoot, they have a team full of pros. And, and it's a pretty impressive team that you can really, battle with coming out. Even Zach Eaton, like, it's going to be like, bro, it's a lot of work out there. And I'm just saying, like, it sounds like Shay you got a lot of psychos on that team that might be able to make something happen. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And one thing I look at is the only thing that can beat Team USA is not having enough time to click. And we've done a great job throughout the Olympics to, figure that out. And I think we will again. But Canada has a lot of NBA role players. And so it's not like you have to change your game. And one thing the U.S. has done a great job at is guys, just molding themselves into whatever role is needed throughout this 3-month period of getting ready to win the gold medal. And because we always talked about that with Spain when they gave us some good matchups. Argentina, they had their alpha dogs, but then they had great high level, professional role players. And I do see that as like something Canada, they know who their alpha is, and they have a lot of talent around that they can just kind of, they got the shooters, they got their big guys. Pick Trey Lyles. I almost forgot he was Canadian. And that's kind of been the unlock. And that's what kind of bit us in the butt in the 2004 Olympics. We had a lot of high usage guys with the ball, and we just had no cohesion. It wasn't enough time to build it.
Yeah, but I think one thing that sometimes people compare to 2004 and they hold it to such a high standard.
Mm-hmm.
I think we put too much, value on talent, and we take away from that talent, and we sometimes undercut what those people are about. I think there's like 11 people on the team that somewhat have been part of the NBA championships or won the NBA championships in the past 10 years, where they made up for not like just making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but won a title. So like when you sit there, that pedigree of, you said, how hard it is to win. How hard it is to do that. So I think when people care about winning and they put all that in, I think sacrifice comes natural. It's just like, it might look a little different considering what we expect from those people. You know what I'm saying? But shoot, that team, you got LeBron James winner, Steph Curry winner, Drew Holiday winner, Jason Tatum winner, Devin Booker, he was able to make it to the finals at 22 winner. Like Bam Adebayo.
2 times in the finals.
That's what I'm saying. Like dog. Like, come and hit me with a pause. Hit me with a jab if you want, G. But I'm taking the Deontay Wilder right hand, Javante Davis. You know what I mean? Power punch. And that's what Team USA is. So if you can withstand that, good luck. And I'll say this. The European coaches, they know they stand up trying to game plan and figure something out. So it's not like they starting off in the league. And I'm not like knocking it, but you sit back and ask Brown, he probably think he's 20 points better than him. So let's listen to them.
I ain't nothing arguing against that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If I could come back down 3-1 versus the best team ever, I think I could take out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do like Serbia's team.
Bogdanovic is a dog.
But we got Steph Curry, and we're gonna bring you out on this pick and roll. And let me know if you can withstand this over and over. And then we don't have you can't scheme against us. You can't scheme against the USA team. That's what I learned in the Olympics. I'm like, it's really hard to scheme against everybody on the court. Because, there's no weak link.
It's the elite. Bro, think of when we played y'all in 2017, when you had KD and them, it was like, so how are you supposed to help anything, regard anything? My last little hope is if Kawhi can't play, I love Derek White to death, but throw Paul George on there, G. He's going to take a Carmelo role. He's going to shoot the shit out the ball wide open. Right. And at very least, he's going to guard and call it a day.
Yeah, but even Derek White shoots it at such a high clip.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's the. I was looking at his numbers. He wants to start at. In order to keep him, they said the number starts at 31 million.
Shout out to Derek, bro.
Shout out to Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, bro.
You see Scotty Barnes' deal?
Yeah, I saw it 204.
270.
270.
It's valued at, so you got to hit all the incentives, but base is 2 something. It's amazing to see. So, but I think Derek White would be like, you always need that perfect complementary guy on the USA teams now, because we've gotten so ball dominant with our stars per team. You kind of have to mix that in. But like I said before, that's the only thing that people can try to use against us is, will we be able to, pass up a great shot that we're normally used to just taking.
You gotta place blame on the people that put the team together, bro. 2021, half them the boys that have no damn business on that team. They put that team together, and they did it again. And we're talking about we can't. It's no, that team never made sense, G. You understand what I'm saying? It's the same thing with 04. It's bro, that team never made sense, and y'all know that. So y'all sitting here trying to make us look at each other and being like, yo, what's the problem? What's the problem? And say, y'all put together a bad team and you know that.
I wouldn't call it a bad team. It's just
or a team that didn't flow. Like, that's it. A team that didn't flow, bro. You put Stephon Marbury and Allen Iverson on the same team, dog. With Van Baker. Like, come on, like, did nobody do their background, like, homework on, like, nothing? Like, then they lost it. What was it, Sydney? They went to Sydney? Where did they lose at?
I think it was Sydney, actually. Yeah, it was Sydney.
Come on, bro. The city, inch by inch, got the most drunks on earth, okay? So that what you sit there, what you think the boys was doing, kicking it at the bar. I'm not knocking it, but them teams was badly assembled.
Yeah, I remember I was training that summer for the draft, and we were watching the game. So obviously I was drafted already, so I was working out, getting ready for the season. And Paul Pierce was showing up a lot in Chicago with Antoine Walker. And I was watching the game, and it never occurred to me. I looked over, and I saw Paul Pierce. I said, wait, why you not playing? And he was like, they didn't think they needed me.
My point is exactly. And then we're sitting here, like, going back and forth. It's like, nobody on those teams said, yo, I'm showing up and I'm playing today. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, there was people sitting around that don't work until now.
Yeah.
They had all the time to put the teams together. And then we keep talking about, like, yo, it's like a bump or some type of error in American basketball. And it was an error in 4 people.
Yeah, because obviously there was no Kobe, there was no Shaq. I mean, our top players that was getting MVPs weren't playing.
Or even when you sit back and you go back there, like, when we talk about trying to mix this in and do whatever, like, there's a big conversation on turn off for playing for Team USA at one point.
Yeah, sure.
And the narrative was like, we're being selfish, we're being this and the third. Like, bro, people didn't want to play. And there's a reason why, and we're bouncing back from it. And it's like, I just think we'll win for sure this year.
Anybody you see as a sleeper squad? Australia always figures out a way to upset somebody or throw it all off. So
Patty Mills turns to Kyrie / Steph hybrid. And then, bro, I like South Sudan for like 1,200. I like that. Shout out to Royale Ivy, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm not mad if Canada wins. I would love to be alive. Canada winning a Olympic basketball tournament is like equivalent to like when Obama became president. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like Cool Runnings.
It's something. Like, yeah, it's like one of them things. It's like, it shouldn't be happening. So, like, I almost feel like we win and then we get to the championship and, like, here you go, Canada. We'll keep it in this region.
No, just imagine being Vince Carter and just starting his wave.
Shout out to Vince. That was a big time.
Point. Forward.
Know the beautiful thing about being a sports fan? There's only like 2 days the whole year without a game. 2. And with so much happening and so much action, that makes just about every day game day at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's super easy for first-time users to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. It really couldn't be any easier, any simpler. And if you're new to DraftKings, you got to check this out. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bet instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code POINTFORWARD. That's code POINTFORWARD for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. See terms and responsible gaming resources at dkng.co/base.
Point. Forward.
And speaking of, what Vince did for Canada, it got me thinking of what Kendrick Lamar has meant to not just hip-hop, but to the West Coast. And the moment he had last week, oh, my God.
I remember seeing that online, and I was so turned up the rest of the night. You had my energy going. I was like, damn, this man is through a whole celebration.
And so it was fitting how it was on Juneteenth and how he has spoken to his adversary And they said they go back and forth and how he's turned it into a moment and what he's speaking towards. But for it to be on Juneteenth and for it to be a celebration on someone, like it was just, the energy was crazy because it was on in the TV. It was on a lot. It was on through my whole house. And I'm watching and the other acts are going on. But I haven't been playing golf as much lately. So I was like, man, I got some free time working on my game. So I was watching Rory McIlroy. And then my phone goes off, obviously around our guy, Gotti. And so I get a message like, Gotti ain't looking too good. And so this was just, he opened up with Euphoria. So then I tuned in right away. And I like stopped everything I was doing. And I was like, yo, why does it feel like I'm there? Like the way Amazon had that thing, and it was that thing, they found like something. I don't think they know that this was going to happen. I don't think Amazon knew how big this moment was for the culture.
At the end of the last 15 minutes was just game banging and crip walking, like, you know what I mean, and like all that. But I thought it was crazy.
It was representing our communities.
No, that's real, bro. Shout out to Russ, represented the artists. At one point, I'm like, bro, this man's really performing. I felt like when we were watching that, like a statue was coming down.
Yeah.
Like they ripped the statue down and everybody's like, I feel like the oppressed was no longer it felt like one of those things where it was like, you no longer have to listen to this shit. Like the real is here and everybody should celebrate it. It feels like they pulled the mask off the cool kid, quote unquote, and he turns out to be a nerd that sleeps with a nightlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually, it's over. Yeah, I don't want to hear anything else about it. You know what I mean? Like, that was well, you know what I mean? Like, they say like it's going to be bounced. They say, bro, it's over, bro. You literally just party when you just move out of California and, you know what I mean? Come back stronger elsewhere, but like, stop fucking with that boy.
Whew. And I think it was a bigger moment too for just hip hop and where we've been saying the music is going possibly, and like we're moving away from it. You know, I think it's the black kid has got a country music hit. I just saw it and I was like, yeah, I'm like, oh, this is a wave. And then you actually have, you have Afro beats are having an amazing moment. So they're never going to get us out of our culture, but we feel like hip hop, they, losing steam. The music that, that's been pushed in front of us, I won't speak on any names in particular, but different colors of body parts. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But I think culture is always going to be one of the most valuable intellectual properties on earth. And so I think, I know that, you know that. I think others know it as well. But do you think Bezos or the folks over at Amazon Prime or Amazon in general, do they know how powerful the culture is?
I don't, obviously nobody can ever like comprehend, but I think like we're reaching that age where, like I said, the old white guys are basically Beastie Boys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like they fuck with Rick Rubin or like Mike Dean. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I think like the Bezos, they grew up in the 80s. So like, I feel like their personality is more, you're going to see more Adam Sandlers than you are like Bill Gates-ish in certain instances. Even when you peep Elon Musk, like that, you argue you got nigga tendencies. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you sit there, I think they're somewhat aware. I don't know if they put their thumb on it, but even when they did the thing with Kanye and Drake, like, there's moments that are being captured. And I think, like, even when you watch UFC, when Ilya Topuria knocked out my man Alexander Volkanovski, they were like, yo, right now, the best fighters on earth live today. And I think some of like the best minds, the most waviest times, or even the highest points. Like, we started off with Ye, and Ye went to 2012, and we saw 2012 Ye to 2016 to even now. Like, the culture's still being pushed, and I think like our guys are starting to be appreciate a sense of like a Basquiat, or even like some of those old school guys like the Hendrix or whatever, where it's like, no, these dudes are stamping a lot of moments in time.
No, I like that. And I think it was super dope how, and this is with a transition on it, he had like some of the up and coming acts from LA. He had,
West Side Boogie.
Yep. I'm a big fan of West Side Boogie. I've been liking him for a while. His first album, the All Red album, and Silent Rider was one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
But you had other acts that you never heard from. Blue Bloods Clan, shout out to Solomon Hill, had me listening to them in the bubble. So you had some folks who have been holding it down in LA for a while. And then
they didn't have the game. They didn't have the game come out, man. That's the second time. That's crazy, G. The game was put on for LA, like when dudes weren't really putting out music, bro.
You got a point.
The documentary literally.
You got a point.
Brought back, in my personal opinion, I was 16, like LA, dog. And then, like, he went at, like, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, all the, like.
Yeah, that's when all the steam stopped.
What you mean? 300 bars was the craziest, one of the craziest.
Well, he went when the G Unit thing, the G Unit beef was quite interesting. I can't believe I remember that. He went crazy. He went crazy. But for some reason, because he was locked in with Jimmy Iovine, he was locked in with Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
And we always say to guys, on the basketball side, we say, they'll only put up with your problems as long as they don't outweigh your talent.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what happened here, but I mean, there's always a reason for everything. But I was saying all that to say, they had some up and coming acts, which brings me to our next up and coming acts this week. As a big week in the NBA, new rules changing. So first time the teams can start negotiating contracts with their own players in house, and because that can set you up for how you're trying to get through free agency and who you need to add, and the draft as well. So the draft is this week. Today is the NBA 2024 NBA draft. A lot of conversation around the draft. Who's going to be the sleeper? How good is the draft? How deep is the draft? And obviously you get into like some of the best drafts ever. Those conversations always end up happening. But this year in particular, it's going to be really interesting. We don't know who the consensus number one pick is, and like how often does that happen?
Yeah, that's the sign one that this draft is going to be dookie. But this is going to be beautiful because I feel as though sometimes you might not find a star, but you might find a really great role player that'll set you over the hump. You understand what I'm saying? And like, he understands his job. So you look at Alexander Sarr, or you look at maybe how steady a Reed Shepherd might do for a Houston, or you look like at what's the French kid, Zach?
Yeah.
Or Rashery or whatever the hell his name is. So like, I think there's a few that could like really get it cracking, but I'm looking forward to the draft. I want to see where Brownie goes. I want to see where Cody Williams goes. I want to see where the homie little shorty Rob goes. I'm looking forward to Rob Dillingham. I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes.
Yeah, it's a super interesting draft because I have no idea what each team wants. Because when we came up, we were closer to it. You kind of knew what teams were looking for what and how they wanted to build. Now, you hear, are you drafting for a position? We don't see that as much as we used to. It used to be you were drafting for a position, or you traded down or traded up to get your position. Yeah. Now it's all I've heard Klingon from UConn could possibly go one, but then we got a lot of guards, a lot of like 6'3", 6'4" guards, which are like tweeners in the NBA world because they're mostly combo guards now, and so I have no idea who's going where.
This is what my buddy David Lighty has said because. I've seen a couple guys from the French league that were supposed to be like one of the top picks. And it's like, and he's like, so I'm like, man, he might be cold. He's like, so I'm like, what's wrong? He said, bro, I grew up like watching top picks. He's like, I played with Greg, Mike. He said, I played with you, like BJ Mullins, Jared Salinger, like.
Did you play with Costa Kufos?
Yeah, Costa Kufos. He's like, bro, like, I know what it looked like. Like, you understand what I'm saying? He's like, I'm not sitting here to be no hater. He's like, at one point, like, I haven't, like, watched people transform into this or, like, what it feels like. He's like, to never make the league, you might watch certain dudes go top 5 is crazy. Like, bro, shout out to Donovan Clean, but, like, I just want to know it's a real league now. Like, Luke Cornett don't play. So, like, all that, I don't know who you think you shimmy faking, but, like, Precious Anchoa is a role player.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know
That's true.
Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, some of the names they were saying, I'm like, no, everybody traded that pick off, dog. And I don't want to be so negative. It's just like, dog, like, bro, there should not be this many number one toss-ups. This is not, like, there's an alpha everywhere.
Two things here. One is if you're just trading down in what is perceived to be a down draft, you're trading down to just find like you're just basically guessing, because if it's a bad draft, then what are you trading down for? But the other side of it, which is interesting, is that there was a point in time where it was a complete change in how we criticized our talent in general. So it was at one point where, you know, you can speak to holding guys accountable as a media member, but we let our stars be stars, and we let them be great. And for the most part, you only went as far as your team, because there are a lot of stars. You know, like Reggie Miller never won a championship, but I mean, he didn't have too many nights where he didn't show up. Like, he always showed up, you know. And then on the other side of it, you would hear when a guy got drafted or during the draft, it was really breaking down like, okay, these are the next guys who are going to be rookies, and they have potential, but they'll break down their game. He's missing this, he's missing this. Like, I was told everything I didn't do right coming into the draft. Now I feel like it's flipped.
Shit, I was told, shit, he ain't really got to have a jumper if he could drive like you do. That's it. And shooting don't really matter if you get to the rep like you can. Lying ass niggas. Keep going.
No, but I'm saying it feels like it's reversed now. I feel like we're overcritical of our stars. Like, you always say, like, let JT and let Jalen be great. Like, and I'm still applauding them, and this has been beautiful to watch how they've handled all the criticism, and now there's like, we stuck together. Like, they didn't break it up. They were screaming break it up for so long, and these guys are still 26 years old, you know, and it's just like you never ever do that. And so, but on the other end of it, we say how great our rookies are, and then we call them a bust because it feels like we're not assessing their games the way we used to. It's a deeper story. I think our youth development system is a bit disrupted by commercializing our youth, which is killing it. And then obviously we're having more Euros than ever, more international players than ever, because it just feels like they have a more fundamentally sound base of basketball skill set, which is getting them further. So it's going to be interesting to see. If I do like Rob Dillingham, I'm really interested to see how he's going to play in the league. I think he's a real point guard. I don't think people see him as that because they see him as a scorer because he can score. And I've challenged him to that. I said, I want to see you bring back the point guard who's the floor general, because that's what it once was. You know, you talk about like Isaiah Thomas was the epitome of that.
Point forward.
Support for Point Forward comes from Nissan. Listen up, because I'm not going to repeat myself on this ad, and I'm not going to miss words either. Do you smell that stench in the air right now? That's complacency. You've all forgotten what it means to reach for adventure, and the 2024 Nissan Pathfinder is here to bring you back to life. And I'm not here for excuses. Work's too demanding. The schedule's too tight. The kids have too many activities. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You're wrong. I want you to remember what it feels like to be lost, to be on an adventure, to be fully and completely present. The 2024 Nissan Pathfinder can help bring back some color to your black and white life. It's a vehicle that inspires greatness and epic travels. It wants to be dirty and scratched up from brushing past branches out in the jungle somewhere. It wants to pick up scars that tell stories that will inspire people to explore. So get up, get out there, and get after it. You can do more. It's not about the number of miles in your life, it's about the amount of life in your miles. Adventure better with the 2024 Nissan Pathfinder. Learn more at nissanusa.com.
Point forward.
What's the job of the NBPA on draft night? Like, what do you all do? Like, because obviously, you remember getting drafted, second crossover, there's 150 people in your face. So then what do you all do on draft night? And how do you kind of set your tone to kind of let the players know that you'll be an ally? Because as a player for a long time, you got to decipher between the NBA Players Association and the NBA offices. And like, what you tell one can assist you and what you tell one can hurt you. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, that matters.
Yeah, and I think it's not looking at it as adversarial as it has been historically, but you do want them to understand the difference and what each side is trying to solve for. But both sides are trying to solve for continuing the growth of the game. Like, that's where we're aligned, and we got to do it together. Now, the NBA is the NBA represents the teams and the governors of each team, and the PA represents the player and making sure that both sides are holding up their end of the bargain, and both sides are being compensated the way the rules say they should be. And so we're here for the protection of the players, not just financially, but physically, mentally, emotionally, all the above. And so just trying to build that relationship, which it's gotten so interesting over the years, because that's on both sides. I think the NBA and the NBPA sides, like we're getting younger and younger. And so the conversations a little bit different talking to an 18, 19-year-old as opposed to, a guy that's been under Dean Smith or Coach K or Ludos's tutelage for 3 or 4 years, and now they're grown men and they're mature coming into the profession. And so we spent some time with them at pre-draft camp, which was really good in Chicago at the Combine. And so we got the introduction. So they have a pretty good understanding, and then it's just reminding them that we'll be here for them every step of the way going into the draft, as now they're officially becoming members. And so it's that official welcome to the league, to the PA, and what the union stands for, and protecting and, leveling up the brand for all the players as a collective, and how valuable we are globally. Because I think we were just talking about Kendrick Lamar earlier and how important the culture is. And, you can't just go – we have a moat on culture. Like, you can't build another culture. Like, it's only us.
10 years ago, we were using the soccer players as an example. And now we're at a level now where you even look at Paris Fashion Week, and NFL players are getting love across the waters, and people don't even play football over there.
Right.
So imagine what it's about to be like now at this level, and we're having wavy kids, and they're comprehending the market inside, and then wait until it. And what I'm so excited about Jason and Jalen, they're young, but they're setting the tone for professionalism.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So, like, I think even like with Luka, he's turning the corner for professionalism, in the sense of, like, I think he's starting to comprehend, like, okay, accountability, all this stuff matters. And I think it's going to really, with the talent we have coming in and the way where the game is at now, I think it's going to really up us, along with the status of the TV deal and the money.
My favorite style guy right now, I'm going to throw this is coming out of left field, but every time he comes to the arena, I'm like, yes, I love it. The Joker, Nikola Jokic. He's been coming to the games with his Zania.
Zania, like Emil. Yeah,
yes, Zania has a wave right now. They have a shoe that everyone in Silicon Valley is wearing. At least all the partners are wearing. And then I saw a guy with some on today too. But his suits are perfectly tailored. He's coming in clean, and it's almost like what I have on right now without a tie. But it's clean, it fits, and it's just people look at you a different way.
Yeah, no, he's always said something about it. He's like, I don't really like how the guys dress. I try to make it about business and come and show up, and it's business. I definitely always respected, Joker in that sense for sure.
Point forward.
This week, JJ Redick has been hired by the Lakers. There's been a ton of conversation around that. He just had his opening interview, remarks, media availability this past Monday. And the quote for me was, I don't give a fuck what people think. I'm just here to do a job, which is on brand. And actually, we had a lot of guys just having a lot of conversations about it. And a lot of former players were upset that he hadn't had any history as being a head coach, no experience. And I think, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just speaking to what I've seen because folks have been hitting me up and saying, the reason why a lot of us don't get the opportunity to be a coach because of what? We have no experience.
We do have experience. We've been playing the game since we were kids. Period, point blank. So we have tons of experience. I have confidence that JJ will do a good job, or he'll be prepped due to all the experience that he's had. Like, do I want to say, like, oh, is it a race thing or whatever? Nah, because I like JJ is dope, but I will say that there's been other people more qualified and they have to sing for their food. We sit here, shout at JJ did his thing, but even Steve Nash got a crazy coaching job. And it's not crazy that he showed up and didn't do a good job or whatever, but like, people fuck up every day. I think what's far obscene is like the people that sneak in. I'm not saying like coaching's easy. I don't want to do any of that, but like, there's far worse people with their hand in control in every level. You know what I mean? And I don't want to say like, oh, getting the number one job in basketball is crazy, but do what you do, JJ. But I would love to see Sam excel, do his thing. I'm glad that Tyronn Lue finally is getting his respect, because for the longest time, he wasn't getting that respect. He stayed over there. He went all the way to Europe to go get a David Blatt, to go do whatever. Had Blatt not have quit, you play with Brown, anybody's getting that chip. Like, you understand what I'm saying? We would have been building false idols in that sense. And I think like one thing that occurred is Tyronn Lue already showed he can really coach and doing what he's doing. But I mean, you look at Sam Cassell, look at all these other people. It's like, even when we sit here in this day and age as well, just in leadership or whatever. I played on teams where it's all black dudes and one white kid, and somehow he's always a captain. Like, you know what I mean? And then when you sit there, it's like, yeah, he's supposed to be like mature. And then it's like, this nigga drinks and drives on the weekend. Like, this nigga out here eating, like, you know what I mean? Just doing wild stuff. And it's like, no, this dude ain't the most responsible. He's a fuck up. But who knows, man?
It's like the Wonderlic test or the quarterback position in general.
Yeah, my point exactly, G. It's like, it's just, but it's kind of equivalent. And this is the only spot that a white dude might get. A white dude may never be called fast. He may never get scouted and be like, yo, he's fast. But you know what I'm saying? He might be like, yo, he's deceptively quick. You know what I'm saying? Right?
That's the worst of your problems.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the only thing they really see. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, we're big fans of JJ, so we're wishing him nothing but the best. He's got a very, very difficult job. So
no, he
that
don't.
alone, I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him just for that. Like, he got a really hard job.
No, he don't. He got Brown and AD for his first coaching job. JJ, please get to the Western Conference Finals. I'm banking on you. You got a good job. Let's get this going. But like, motherfuckers ain't set you like they did my man Lloyd Pierce. Lloyd Pierce had to hold a bunch of clipboards and a bunch of juggle a bunch of them things just to be the whipping boy in Atlanta. So it ain't like they did you. And he showed up where they traded Luka Doncic for Trae Young. So like, you know what I'm saying? There's worse positions that you can be in. It's funny, I saw something, G, last minute. I think AI did something when they calculated basically had Luka never been traded from the Hawks.
Oh.
They were saying his career would basically be identical. But like, I think last year they would have him slotted going to the Eastern Conference final. I think going to the finals and losing, and then they would have him winning this year. He basically would have been like leader and MVP in every category. And basically like doing what he would have done now, which is kind of.
Can you imagine Luka in Atlanta? He would have it bussing.
Bro, when I first went to Dallas and folks, like, I was out and about with Dan, and I don't country ass niggas like, y'all better get inside. That boy's got Luka tomorrow. And I'm like, bro, Luka. I said, Luka's an old 19-year-old from Slovenia, and they on his top. Like, Luka's really the man like that. Like, I'm really sitting there like, I was like, bro, he's a man. He said, Luka's like that. There's a bunch of country dudes like Luka. I'm like, bro, y'all know y'all chatting for like the Dame Lillard sitting right here. And it turned out like they said Luka was like that. They said, y'all boys better go to sleep. Luka here. Luka's so cold.
Yeah, he had an impressive year. Very impressive year. But I mean, I think we all agree the Celtics have the league in kind of a semi-chokehold right now. And as long as they want, next couple of years, 3-4 years, they got their guys locked in. But everyone's saying the West is wide open. I think Denver's going to retool. But these next week and a half is going to be interesting with free agency coming up.
If you don't highlight Brad Stevens, okay? So, it's one, Brad is like an evil genius. So, it's one thing. Like, you got him at the helm. He's probably 3 years ahead, bro. Literally put together.
Here I go with this light years ahead thing.
I'm just saying, bro, he built the winner for the next 4 or 5 years.
Who brought back Holford? Was it
Brad?
Okay, so that wasn't Danny.
No, Brad said when Brad told me when Horford left the first time, he's like, bro, we just took a big hit. He's like, Al's just presence and everything. We took a big hit. He's like, I wanted him. Like, he wanted him back more than anybody. Now he's like, bro, did you tweet him? Like that type shit, but clearly not.
Yeah, I wish I had a GM like that. Bob Myers never really. He vouched for me to get the minimum, but I love Bob.
No, Brad would be like, he really believed it. I think he would do it. I mean, Brad a cold dude. He a cold dude.
Point forward.
Support for this episode of Point Forward came from Nissan. The 2024 Nissan Pathfinder comes with a challenge. Get outside and do more. More adventures, more exploring, more fun. The Pathfinder is ready for mud, ready for snow, and ready to wow with available, intelligent 4-wheel drive and 7 different drive modes. It's built to inspire. Sure, you can take this thing to the grocery store, but when it's just as comfortable cruising across a glacier, it's hard to be satisfied with routine. Challenge yourself to get out and find your next unforgettable memory, and do it in a vehicle that can keep up. Adventure better with the 2024 Nissan Pathfinder. Learn more at nissanusa.com. Intelligent 4-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Point Forward. Don't forget to follow Point Forward on social media and subscribe to the show wherever you listen to your podcasts. We appreciate you for listening. See you next time.